And welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. And all week I've been driving my Mopar, driving my Hemi, my Scat Pack, my special edition Swinger. It has been spectacular, but this morning I woke up and it felt like a Lamborghini day, and I just thought, what the hell? Even though I know some of you hate the Lambo, how can you hate this thing? Look at how beautiful it is. It's okay to love Mopar, it's okay to love your Hemis, but it's also totally okay to admire and appreciate the beauty of this ridiculously sick ass car. I mean, it is cool. You got to admit it. I do love this thing. But Brad, what do you love more? Do you love your Swinger? Do you love your Hemi car, or this more? And that's like asking me which kid I love more if I had two kids. That's why I only had one kid. So having two cars kind of leaves me in a position of having to split that love right down the middle. And this thing is awesome. So today we're going to talk about a ridiculous situation where a gentleman has been put in a really tough position, one that I could not imagine being in buying a brand new car. And I feel like Dodge really needs to step up, and I wasn't going to address this. Saw TK's video, Butter sent me the documentation on this thing, and I feel like I have a responsibility at this point to jump in and share the story to at least get some publicity out there on the internet to see if we can help this gentleman out and get resolution. Plus, it kind of tells us how Dodge works when it comes to them screwing up and then stepping up. And maybe there's more to the story, I don't know. But I'm just going to share what I know. But damn, it's windy today, and I'm probably going to go back and get my Dodge because things are flying off of trees. Woo! Let's get in the car and have this conversation. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It's windy. All right, let's get started. So this is kind of on the vein of defects from the manufacturer, and something that seems to be a little bit of a trend. Certainly I've experienced it with the 2023 last call models. And I suspect, being the last call, I suspect the time crunches, the strike we had last year, and all the other economic challenges that have been taking place, and plant shutdowns, and you name it, that there has been massive pressure to get as many of these last call cars off the line as they can. And that would be evidenced by the amount of surplus in inventory that's out there, especially with SXTs and GTs, and definitely Scat Packs are piling up at this point. Some Hellcats, definitely the standard body Hellcats, are all over the place. The wide bodies seem to move a little better when the dealers get off their stupid markups. But one thing we found, at least I found with mine, was one, I had a starter bolt that was loose, which appears to be loose from the factory. I've owned now 8 of these Challengers and Chargers. I say these, I'm sitting in a Lamborghini, but I'm talking about, you know, I'm a Dodge guy. So 8 of those cars, and until this Swinger Special Edition, the 2023 last call model, with the special little plaque and badge underneath the hood, until I got that car, I had never had a single manufacturing defect. Nothing that loosened up or fell apart. I had no issues. I couldn't have been more positive about the reliability and build quality of those cars. Yet now, with my gorgeous green Swinger, I've got a door handle that likes to torture the living crap out of me, and at this point, it sometimes just decides it's not going to let me in the car. And that's kind of terrifying, understanding that the slight chance that maybe we have a zombie apocalypse, and I'm getting chased through a field, running towards my car, and I get to the car, and I only have about 10 feet from a zombie getting me, and I'm grabbing that door handle and hitting that remote and grabbing that door handle and saying bad words and grabbing that door handle, and I can't get, you know what happens, right? The zombies get me. And I don't know about you, but I would hate to be victim of a zombie attack, because Dodge didn't build the cars right, didn't put the time in to deliver the same level of quality they delivered in the past. Now, some of you are going to beat me up in the comments and say, but Brad, these have always been junk cars, these are crap cars, blah, blah, blah. Not my experience. My experience has been they were great. I believe they even got to a place of having built the same damn car for so many years that they got to a place that they were delivering those things so damn perfectly that I couldn't kill one. And the amount of crazy crap people do in these cars, and the donuts and the burnouts and all the crazy stuff, drifting, you name it, and the cars just keep going. I do believe they have the quality figured out. But this last year, it feels like they don't. Between my starter bolt loosening up on me and causing my car to just die for no reason, and again, leave me stranded, fortunately, in my driveway one morning, and almost about 50 miles from home, that screams out that maybe someone's rushing. Now, I'm really cautious about giving any crap to the awesome men and women who worked at Brampton putting these things together, because those people were heroes. I mean, think about this. Knowing that their jobs are up in the air, going through all the crap they've gone through, they worked so hard. They were so proud of delivering so many of these cars and being part of the build process. So I don't want to beat up on them. But remember, there's a component of robots involved, and there's also leadership that's rushing people through, not having enough people on the line, all the issues that contribute towards build quality that I wouldn't put the blame on the hardworking men and women at Brampton. So I don't want to do that. But I do want to say that the outcome, unfortunately, is that some of us, and especially this other gentleman, have been experiencing some really irritating issues. And what's worrying is what else is going to happen long after the warranties expire with that build quality. Are we going to have things creep up that maybe we didn't notice, we didn't know about, and now they're not going to be covered because that last year was the year that they cut corners or rushed things through? I don't know. But I know that it definitely weighs on me a little bit because I'm already experiencing issues. I mean, literally within the first, 5,000 miles, my car is not starting and causing me grief. There's another issue with my car, which has been, for no reason whatsoever, a loud, insanely loud scraping sound that sounds like the drive shaft going around it, and this just crackling and scraping, and it sounds like something spinning right below where the gear shift is. I've taken to the shop now, I believe twice, and they found nothing. They said nothing, maybe something just flew up in there and it fell out. All right, cool. And then the other day, it happened again, but of course, by the time I get to the dealership, it's gone, so nobody's going to be able to find it. So when is that going to finally manifest itself into a full-blown repair? Likely when I'm very far away from home, and we'll be stranded on the side of the road, surrounded by zombies, and not be able to save myself. So that's my little preface into leading into something way bigger than the little issues that I'm dealing with and some of you have dealt with, but definitely raises the questions about the build quality, because this gentleman who bought his car in Tempe, Arizona, the CDJR dealership, brand new, 2 days before Christmas, a couple days before Christmas, Scat Pack wide body, super exciting. You all know the feeling of taking that delivery. And within a few days of driving it, he hears some squeaking sounds. And those squeaking sounds keep coming and causing concern. So within just a few days of buying that car, he takes it to his local dealership in Plano, Texas, who dig into it and they discover that there is a weld bond failure, meaning multiple parts of the body are not welded together, appearing that the glue or whatever the hell they use when they're bonding this thing with the robots ran out of the material to bond the body panels together, the body parts together. And that definitely raises as TK said, a safety issue. Now I'm going to say something a little bit different than TK in that he's 100% right that it is a safety issue. It definitely affects the structural integrity of the car, its ability to withstand an impact in a rear-end collision, potentially even a front-end collision. And for that reason, I would tell this gentleman, don't drive the car. I'm not a lawyer, but I'll tell you that in almost every situation where there is a lawsuit over something that is a defect, is once you discover that defect and are aware that it's a safety issue, you have a responsibility to not drive that car or use that thing. For example, if you woke up tomorrow and discovered that there is catastrophic poisonous mold throughout your house, it would be your responsibility to move the hell out of that house. Now, I get it. Maybe you don't have the money, maybe you don't have this, that. But the choice of dying or finding somewhere else to stay until the problem's solved falls on you. If you stay there and you choosing to stay there, or you continue to drive that car with what is a absolutely clear safety issue, I worry that you minimize or weaken your case. Talk to a lawyer, but weaken your case to say that they're responsible for something horrible that happens to you, and an injury as a result from that, considering that now it's on record that you know it's no longer a safe car to drive. And for that reason, you should stop driving it and not continue driving that unsafe thing. But he needs a car. You go rent a car and you put it on your credit card and you charge them those costs when you get an attorney and go after them. So this issue takes place. They discover what the issue is and they tell him that the body shop looked at it and they're gonna have to fix it. And it's gonna cost $30,000. And they can't get to it till February. So for a month and a half, 2 months away before they can even get it in the dealer's selected body shop. So now he's waiting and waiting and waiting. He goes to Dodge and tells them about the issue and gets the runaround with all the customer service reps. They come back and say, don't worry about it, we're going to cover it, we're going to fix it, just get it fixed. Of course, in his head, it's logical for him to say, wait a second, you're going to do a $30,000 body repair on my car and report it to Carfax. Most likely, even the slightest chance that it ends up on Carfax, there's 100% chance that the value of that car will be diminished. One of the worst things for a car is to have a big, huge repair on the Carfax. It gives every buyer and every dealer who you're looking to trade it in with the absolute negotiating power to reduce the price they're going to give you for that car. And it just depends on the market. So it's not a number you can say, well, you know, Dodge, give me an extra 10 grand for the diminished value. Someone may just choose not to buy it. You may get stuck with it because nobody wants to buy a car that had a $30,000 repair and hope that that $30,000 repair, that, by the way, was tied to a safety issue, may or may not been fixed. And now you're going to be driving that car. Personally, if I have the option between a car without a $30,000 prior repair and a car with one, I'm going to choose the car without the $30,000 prior repair, especially even if it's $4,000 or $5,000 or even $10,000 more. I don't want that issue. Here's why. That issue continues to haunt the new buyer who becomes a new seller down the road, and that Carfax is still on there. So every buyer who ends up with that car for the rest of its life has to answer the question about the giant $30,000 repair. Now, if I crashed my car, I bought the car, I crashed the car, that's one thing. I have to suck it up. Bad things happen. That's life. Accidents happen. That's life. We get stuck with the Carfax. It is what it is. Nobody else's fault but the guy who hit me or me who hit them. That's totally different than you buy a car. 2 days later, you discover there's a $30,000 repair issue. Sometime in the next few weeks, you figure that out. And now you're going to have this huge Carfax on that car. So the point I want to drive home to Dodge and anybody watching this is you can liken this to anything else you buy out there in the world. Whether you're going into Best Buy and you buy a TV and you take it home and you find out as soon as you take it out of the box that it has an issue, you don't want them to fix that TV and take it for months and then you get it back and hope that they fix the right thing. You will go back and return that car, or I'm sorry, that TV. But with cars, they have this, no return thing. So you just get stuck with something that they built wrong. No, if it's a manufacturer defect, and if that's really what's happening, which it sounds like that's what's happening, then the manufacturer needs to tell that dealership, return the money, make him whole, sell him another car, which is ideal, right? So he wants another car, sell him another car, and let's go ahead and fix that car, and you're going to turn around and sell it as a used car with a transparent Carfax and make sure they understand that they're getting a car that had a $30,000 repair. And everybody who, from the dealership to the manufacturer, steps up to just do right. Because why would you want somebody 2 days after buying the car starts having an issue to get stuck with that car and stuck with that repair? Not even to mention when it goes in the body shop, could you imagine how long that repair is going to be? I mean, they have to take out the back third of the car or something like that. I was reading. That's insane. It's not like a, bring it in Monday, pick it up Friday thing. It's like bring it in, on the 1st and pick it up on the 31st type thing. If you're lucky, which means you're in a rental car, it just ruins the entire experience. Any manufacturer of any product should stand by that product and say, yo, this shouldn't have happened. Not even a question. No, it's not about fixing it and sticking you with this. It's about you being happy, giving you a new car with no issues. It's real simple. When you watch TK's video, he says he's downright mad. If it was me in that situation, mad would be an understatement. I mean, the amount of anger I would have, considering that the best response I would have gotten, like this gentleman, was to put in the shop in a couple of months, now drive it while it's dangerous, and then we'll fix it, take another month, and bang your Carfax so that you can never get out of the thing, and you probably paid full price, hopefully not a markup, and it's in a declining market where prices aren't stabilized, so now you're going to be even more buried in the car. I mean, this is a snowball effect. So my recommendation to this gentleman is, for sure, secure a lemon law attorney. That car is the epitome of a lemon. They sold you a car that right out of the manufacturer, right out of the factory, has a serious defect. Makes sense that they just give you the money back. The fact that there's any fight at all taking place is downright astonishing, considering that it would be a rounding error to the pennies for Stellantis and Dodge to just make this thing right with you and make sure you get a brand new, properly built car. With that said, you may end up with that car and have to go through the passenger side to get in because the door handle stops working and your starter just too loose and you have a loud tin can sounding sound underneath your car like mine. It's unfortunate, and I do think that 2023 is a unique year for these cars. What's really crazy is 2023 will go down as the year people paid the most money ever for Dodge Challengers and Chargers. That's what it'll go down for. And the year that their quality, potentially, at least in my situation, and in this guy's situation, was the worst it's been since they started building these Hemi L cars. That is ridiculous, and I think more will come out of this. And I honestly hope I'm wrong. I hope I just got a car with a couple minor issues and we'll work through them. But this gentleman, could you imagine going through that? Anyways, so I'm going to just make my plea to Dodge and Stellantis. Make this dude's situation right. Immediately call him and tell him, come get your new car. We're going to unwind that other car. We're going to make everything right, and it's not your problem anymore. We're sorry about this. And by the way, any cost on rental cars and whatever we can do to make sure you're happy. Just seems like a simple thing to do. Wouldn't hurt them, wouldn't screw their stock price up, certainly wouldn't cause them to do any more damage to the company than what they're doing themselves. Solve the problem with the customer. And you get massive, that's how you build brand equity, is how you treat your customers when there are errors made. And if this was a machine that simply ran out of product and that happens, it's a mistake, then you have to own that. If there's more to it that I don't know, I'm sorry, and it'll probably come out in future stories. This is all over the Dodge forums, and I'll put a link in the description below so you can go follow the story and see how it ends. So with that, everybody, I hope these videos help. Hope these videos open up some eyes, get more people talking about their issues if they're having them. That way we know whether or not this is a chronic issue or this is just a very random thing that happens. So with that, please be sure to like and subscribe, comment, share this video with anyone you think who could benefit from it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Now I'm going to go get my Challenger and get out of this damn wind. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.